I can start things off if you want.
Yeah.
Fourth. It mainly depends on what kind of race you think is gonna be. Like, do you think it's going to be a late race restart, or is it going to be a long green flag run to the finish? Because for me, it's two very different answers for how the race plays out. Knowing these cars and seeing what happened in the first Phoenix race, I think that we will see a late race caution.
I
for that
agree.
reason, it may come as a surprise that I have Chase Elliott finishing fourth out of the championship four. I drafted him first out of the championship four because I think he's the best odds to win the race if it does go green. But I think in a scenario where there's a caution late in the running, the number 9 team have been pretty mediocre to not good on restarts over the course of the season. Part of that may be because of track position and stuff. But they rank in the 20s in terms of retention rate and in terms of positions gained on restarts. And we know how chaotic the restarts get at Phoenix. They're some of the craziest that we have in the Cup Series. And for that reason, expecting there to be some kind of late race type thing where there needs to be some kind of important restart late, I think we could see a scenario where Chase Elliott is maybe the guy to beat, and then he gets beat on a restart. So I will have Chase Elliott finish fourth here.
So, I mean, this is just me here. All right. So this is my stupidity. Or just like my weird things that I do. So I like to think that, or at least I feel like when you make it to the championship four, you almost never repeat the same position. Like it just feels like that.
This is very on brand for you.
Yeah. Isn't it? So Elliott in the championship four appearances, he's finished first and fourth last year. He finished last. So
who are you putting last?
I don't think he finishes last this year just based off of that knowledge. And
what if they already have 4 championship four appearances?
No, they don't.
No, I know. I'm saying, but like, what if they get to that point? What happens to your theory?
Well, I mean, Kyle has finished in he's made it 5 times. So he's made it in all different positions and then first twice. So like,
okay. So then from that point, you just win. Okay. I got it. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he's got a couple more years before he gets a second title. A little tidbit there, a little tease. So I don't have Chase Elliott finishing last based off of my own stupidity theory.
I mean, it's good prediction. Don't get me wrong.
How many times has Logano made it? 2014.
He's made it 4 times, I think.
Is this his 4th?
He's been like, make it, don't make it, make it, don't make it. So I'm pretty sure that's 4.
Yeah, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. This is his 5th.
Yeah, so he's made it 4 times. So we've run into that scenario already.
Oh, Jesus.
So, okay. So I want to read the results out to you so I can see if your theory holds true. 2014, he was in it, right? Or no?
2014.
Yeah, 2014 he
finished last.
Yeah, 16th in the race. So that would have been
last. 2016 he finished
2016
second.
He finished 4th in the race.
2018 he won.
2018 he won. And 2020 he finished third. Oh my God. I'm
telling you right now, man. I'm not out to lunch here. I'm out
by
to
your
toast.
Theory, that means he's the champion because he's finished in all 4 positions.
Just let me finish. All right. For me, I do have Ross Chastain finishing 4th.
Okay.
I just wanted to leave it at that. I just wanted to leave it at that little preamble there because I did.
No, that's good.
So Ross Chastain does finish 4th for me. I think he could go out win the title, but when I look at the experience of 2 of them, and also just the 20 car speed this season on the flatter tracks, I just like that a little bit more than the 1 car. I know they finished second in the spring, but I do think, I mean, I was not high on them in the playoffs. We talked about that.
You never drafted him.
My own fault, really. Like, he's proved me wrong, which is totally great. Like, I mean, I'm glad to be wrong about that. Like, he's done so much more than I ever thought he would have in the playoffs. And the story of itself is Trackhouse. Like, a second-year team making it to the championship 4 is freaking phenomenal. Like, that is unbelievable to even comprehend that that's even a possibility for, we've seen so many times how these new teams, like, they struggle. I know the new cars obviously come into a big factor with that.
Even the new teams with the new car have struggled.
Exactly. So kudos to that entire team. Chip Ganassi Racing, basically. Like, I've always liked that little chip. Little chip. And I do think that the moment itself, I don't think it'll be too big for him, but I don't know if Trackhouse quite has enough to compete with Penske, Hendrick, and Joe Gibbs Racing at this stage. I think that they're close, but that may be a little bit too tall of a task for them to go out there and beat those other 3. So I have them finishing 4th.
Alrighty. Next up, I will put Joey Logano 3rd for myself. They've flown under the radar all season, but I feel like they're kind of like the extra one where they're not the leader in any categories. So I don't really see like a specific scenario where they're like the favorite and if the race plays out a certain way. Yeah. But at the same time, we've also seen from them at times this year where they've come out on the shorter ovals and had excellent results. I think of leading over half the race at Richmond, going out, winning Gateway, and winning Darlington in a bit of a controversial fashion, but he still was up there and competing obviously in second, even if he didn't put the bumper to Byron and stuff. So this is a team that's kind of been up and down in terms of their short oval speed over the course of the season. One result that I really like I mentioned, is the Richmond one, where in the spring they were decent, but unremarkable, had like 1 lap led, finished outside the top 10, stuff like that. And then go to Richmond the second time and lead over 200 laps. That bodes well for going to a place for a second time and stuff like that, and a somewhat comparable track type. But I think overall, not the leader in speed at this track type, not the leader in restarts and stuff. And so overall, I think that they're a team that doesn't finish last, but kind of finishes in that 2 to 3 range. It's kind of like the secondary kind of person in this championship race.
Yeah. We forgot to mention, who do we want to win the championship? Who do you want to win this one?
I kind of skipped it because I don't really have any strong feelings about any.
Okay. Well, okay. Perfect. I mean, everybody knows who I want to win. So I just wasn't sure if you had a particular opinion, but
not really. Yeah, not really. I'd be fine with any of them. So
okay. Fair enough. 3rd for me, Chase Elliott. They are the luckiest sons of guns to be at this point based off of their playoff performance. They've sucked. I
feel like it's not lucky. It's more really good regular season. But
okay, in terms of like, if they, to put it this way, if they didn't have the DNQ by Hamlin at Pocono, they're out, right? Like, I mean, it comes down to that. They have been nowhere on speed really compared to the other guys here in the playoffs. Like Talladega, sure, but like that has nothing to do with anything else. The Roval, they should have won, but I look at those two as like anomaly. What's the right word?
Anomaly. There you go.
Anomaly. Jesus Christ. But I can't look at anything on the 1.5 mile stuff. I think their flat stuff's been mediocre, and I don't know if they quite have had the stretch here of any momentum. I think momentum is a little bit overkill at some point, like how much Rick Allen says it, but like I do think
a lot of what Rick Allen says is overkill. But
yeah, talks like he doesn't need to.
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
That's a whole other episode. But I don't know if the 9 car quite has enough to compete with the other two that I have. I think that their speed has just been there. Only thing that I can put it to is that he's been there before at this track and won the championship, and it's also Hendrick Motorsports equipment. Like, I don't think that they're going to definitely not give him the best stuff. Like, he'll have everything he needs to. I just don't know if their equipment or if their entire stuff this whole year can compete with the other two that I've got. So Elliott finishes 3rd for me.
Time for the show. Do you want me to take this? Or
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Just take it.
Because I think we have the same guy. I have Christopher Bell winning the Cup Series championship.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think Christopher Bell and the 20 team have the perfect blend of a little bit of everything to go out and win this championship. They have a guy who's going for his first championship and has that hunger to go out and prove people wrong, whatever it may be, and go out and win that championship. They have the experience top the pit box in Adam Stevens, who's been there, done that in the championship races, and won't necessarily have that same pressure that other people may feel going out and trying to win a championship. That's something that he's familiar with. Joe Gibbs Racing is a team that, since it's gone to the Final Four format, the Championship Four format, they've never not had a representative in the final race. This is a team that knows how to prepare for these final races. And even though it's a driver in a unique situation going into this Cup Series championship race, he's never raced for a championship in the Cup Series before. Everybody around him has. So I'm not concerned about the lack of experience in that regard. They've been super fast on short ovals. They rank top 5 in median lap speed on short ovals. They've gone out, had 5 straight top 5 performances at short ovals. Should have won Richmond if there was one more lap, won New Hampshire, and obviously won Martinsville last time out. All season long, they have 2 non-top 10s on short ovals, looking at ovals less than
was the Phoenix
a mile
race
and
in
a
the
half.
spring?
Phoenix race in the spring where he spun out and finished in the 20s.
That's when they couldn't get the cars off the ground with the flat tires, and he just skated around.
Yep. And the other one was Martinsville, where he finished 20th. Went out and rectified the Martinsville result. I think he rectifies the Phoenix result this weekend. Christopher Bell is my 2022 series champion for the Cup Series.
Oh, man. I wanted to happen so bad. I want it to happen so bad.
Is he not taking him?
It's just a matter of fact. I don't have him winning the title.
Wow.
Based off my math.
Thought you were going to take him.
Based off of my theory, which could be completely out to toast. I mean, like, it could literally be him finishing 4th by some margin. Because the 22 car, I feel like I've said the entire time this season, like, they're just like there, like, where do they come from? But their ability to fire off on restarts is probably, like, the Fords are just unbelievable at it. Like, they've got that down pat. Their long run stuff, it's not where it needs to be. That's always been an issue with Penske. It's always been an issue with Ford, I feel like. But this year especially, like, they've had a tough go of it. But I mean, no, I don't think anybody really sees the Ford as, like, the dominant manufacturer this year. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've just been so, like, Blaney didn't get a win. Cindric's only win came in the Daytona 500. Harvick had 2 wins there back to back, and then, I mean, Buescher won at Bristol. But, like, you're not your usual suspects were up there dominating like they have been in the previous years. I think having that extra bit of prep time here will pay off. And Paul Wolf does like to go for a bit of an aggressive strategy at times. I love Adam Stevens. Like, that guy is probably a top 2 crew chief in the garage area, if I had to guess, because he's made almost every driver that he has been a crew chief for better. And I include Kyle Busch in that. He made
even
him
Matt
better.
Crafton and David Reagan.
Yes. And Eric Jones as well for one race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about that? So I don't think it's ever going to come down to necessarily the 20 car not being there. I think he'll be right there. Like, it'll be really close, but I'm going to give the edge to the 22 based off of my stupid math that if you make it to the 5th time, you get that second title. He become the second multi-time champion too with Kyle Busch in the Cup Series. So Logano's been preparing for it, man. He seems like he's always been very confident in his team and his overall just entire playoffs. He's just kind of exuded that kind of just level of, I'm going to be, you better watch out. Don't underestimate me. And I do think that that's going to be coming into consideration here. I think they'll unload fast. And the 22 car is my champion, Joey Logano. As much as I hate it, is going to be my pick for the Cup Series championship in 2022. 22 and 22.
Makes a lot of sense there. The 22 and 22. One final thing on Ross Chastain there, who I do have finishing second here on the thought that we see a late race restart. Look, we always see the championship 4 in the mix. We might see it a little bit differently, whether it's Kyle Larson getting up in the mix in the Owners' Championship or just the new car and different things like that. But they're always in the mix to a certain extent. And because of that, if we do get some kind of late restart, Ross Chastain will be somewhere in that like 3rd to like 6th range.
Yeah.
And because of that, I like his chances on a late race restart because of the aggression, and the aggression this season has resulted in results on restarts.
Yeah.
He leads the Cup Series by a significant margin in restart positions gained and retention rate. So if he has a front row start, he's going to retain it most likely. 75% he's done so. And if he's restarting further back and needs to gain places, he's had the aggression to do so, and he's had the results to do so. So that's why I've got him finishing second. He finished second at Phoenix earlier in the year after a late restart. I think we could see something like that play out again.
Great point. I like Chastain a lot. I just don't know.
No. I agree.
What to expect.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it depends how it plays out. The only way I see him having a shot is if it's a late race restart.
This entire championship 4, it's full of surprises. I feel like I don't know what to think. I feel like the last couple of years, you've been able to dial in like Larson last year. This year has just been so unpredictable. Yeah. Even though Chase Elliott has 5 wins.
What do you think of the Larson wild card? Do you think it mixes it up enough, or?
I think Larson will be up there, man. I really do. I think I could see him finishing 3rd in the race or something like that. I don't know if he'll necessarily win it. I mean, I've been kind of like on this like kind of trend where I don't know if the champion will win the race, but when I look at who's left here, I got to think that the champion wins the race. Like it just feels like it's so hard to do. I don't know. That's just me.
Yep. And one final quick note on Chastain and Trackhouse. They haven't won on a non-super speedway oval yet. So if they're going to do so, win the championship, they probably have to buck that trend this weekend.
Yeah, great point. Great point. So that'll do it for our picks this weekend for Phoenix. It's been a fun season. Cannot wait to see what the Duel in the Desert has in store for us this weekend. But any final thoughts, Kyle?
Nothing. Just really looking forward to this weekend. Some exciting racing coming up.
Same here.
And look, I don't love the format, but the format results in exciting moments, and that's what we're going to get this weekend.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it being on the ground there. We'll see what kind of stuff happens behind the scenes of a NASCAR race for media. I'm super pumped, but can't thank this platform enough for giving me that. So looking forward to talking about it afterwards, hopefully, and we'll see what all happens. But thank you all so much for your support. Sorry about not having a Martinsville episode, but we are back here for Phoenix and hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a like if you like this video. Leave a subscribe if you really liked it. And tell all your friends, as Steve Dangle would say. But for this episode, I've been Lukas Wacker. He's been Kyle Cushman, signing off for now. We will talk to you when we talk to you next. Enjoy championship weekend in Phoenix, everybody.